I found out my wife was pregnant, and the timeline did not add up. The child was not mine. It belonged to my younger brother. That hit like a steel beam to the chest. The worst part was learning my own mother had known for a while and wanted it kept quiet. She told herself I could handle it because I had the stable paycheck, the house, and the future. That was her logic for protecting the secret. Once I had proof, I did not drag it out. I filed for divorce and walked the whole story to my father. He stepped in after that and took the lead. I am 31 years old, a project manager at my father's construction company in Phoenix, Arizona. I have been grinding since I was 15, starting with cleanup and supply runs, then learning each trade on site. I earn about $85,000 a year before bonuses. I bought my house before I ever got married, and the place has gone up by nearly $100,000 since then. My ex-wife, Lauren, is 29. She works as a nurse and brings in around $70,000 a year. We met when she was still in nursing school. Back then she seemed focused, sharp, on a path that matched mine. Looking back, I can see I ignored some early warning signs, like the way she openly flirted with a bartender on our very first date. I told myself it was nothing. I wanted the best version of her to be the real one. My father, Robert, is the classic self-made builder. He started in construction at 18, hauling lumber and swinging a hammer during the day, then taking night classes to move up. Over the years, he fought his way into bigger commercial jobs, and he built the company by staying disciplined and expecting the same from everyone else. He has no patience for laziness or excuses. My mother, Linda, could not be more different. She left a low-level office job early and now fills her days with shopping and neighborhood gossip. She treats my younger brother, Derek, like he walks on water. In public, she puts on a perfect smile. At home, she stirs the pot. Derek is 26 and has coasted on charm instead of effort. My father brought him into the company with a basic office role, answering phones for $55,000 a year, hoping it would light a fire under him. It did not. Derek acted like the company should be grateful he bothered to show up. My father tried sending him into the field under the Arizona sun, figuring honest sweat might shape him up. He rarely lasted more than a shift. Meanwhile, I was doing the heavy lifting: electrical, carpentry, concrete, drywall, whatever needed doing. By 20, I was running housing developments. At 24, I earned a promotion based on performance. Derek went the other way. He drifted back to the office, played executive, and showed off in flashy designer outfits. He drove a leased Bavarian Motorworks sedan like he had already made it. At family dinners, my mother praised him for small things like arriving on time, while I was managing seven-figure builds. When I bought my house, Derek said I was lucky. When I got promoted, he called it nepotism and ignored the decade I had put in. 2 years ago, Derek ran into money trouble: credit cards, car loans, the usual. My father loaned him $1,150 with a promise to pay it back. Derek made a couple of payments, then quit. More excuses. No accountability. Early in my marriage, Lauren and I worked like a team. I handled the money and kept the house in shape. She cooked and kept our social life going. Sundays were my favorite. Her recipes took me straight back to my grandmother's kitchen. We had real plans. After our third anniversary in October of 2022, we started trying for a baby. She stopped taking birth control. We tracked her cycle and even picked out names. In January of 2023, my father landed a major hospital renovation. 6 months, $2 million. The biggest job our company had ever taken. I was put in charge. Hospital work is brutal. The rules are tight. Inspections keep coming, and there is no room for mistakes. I worked long hours, including nights and weekends. At the start, Lauren backed me up. She brought dinner to the site and talked about our future. We planned to use the project bonus to crush the mortgage and start investing. Then something shifted. She began spending more time with a coworker named Sophie, a fun, outgoing travel nurse. Suddenly, Lauren was out 3 or 4 nights a week, and our routine fell apart. I was buried in work and missed what was right in front of me. By February, her schedule started to look off. She used to work 3 regular shifts. Now she had surprise trainings, sudden emergencies, and extra hours that came out of nowhere. Meanwhile, Derek began stopping by when I was not home. He brought her coffee and handled little fixes I had not gotten to yet. I told myself he was finally growing up, taking responsibility, maybe turning a corner. I did not know that while I was running the biggest project of my career, my own brother was sleeping with my wife in the house I had built for us. Derek even started acting like a new man. No more loud outfits, showing up on time, staying late. My father was beginning to believe it, and for a while, so did I. We wrapped the hospital job in March, early and under budget. It was a huge win for the company, and I was ready for life to settle back into place. The first week I was home more, I could tell the air in the house felt different. Something was off, and I was about to learn how far it had gone. Lauren said she was still working late, covering shifts, dealing with sudden emergencies. But once I was home more, the little things started to shine like warning lights. Every Friday, $200 in cash came out of our account. When I asked, she waved it off. Girls' nights. I use cash so that I do not overspend. On the surface, that sounded reasonable. Then I remembered we used to track every single expense together. Now the withdrawals were weekly secrets. Her phone turned into a second face, always in her hand, grinning at the screen. The second I walked into a room, she locked it or turned it face down. I asked who she was messaging all the time. Same answer, every time. Work group chat. Nothing important. By April, there were physical signs. Lauren was throwing up every morning. I asked if she was all right. She blamed a stomach bug that was going around the hospital and said she had already talked to a doctor. Then she told me I should not come with her. The thing is, ever since we started trying for a baby, I had been tracking her cycle with her. She was 3 weeks late. That had never happened before. When I brought it up, she blew up. Why are you monitoring my body like I am some experiment? She snapped. I can handle myself. Stop trying to control me. The outrage came out of nowhere, especially after months of us tracking everything side by side. The shift was impossible to miss. At the same time, my mother changed her behavior. Linda stopped calling the house phone and started talking to Lauren directly. Long calls. Whispered. Always outside, or behind a closed door. One afternoon, through the bedroom door, I heard my mother say, "He cannot find out." Lauren and my mother had never been close. Suddenly, they were a team. One day I walked into the kitchen while Lauren was on speakerphone. The moment my mother heard me, her tone flipped. "Oh, Jake is home. We will talk later," she said, and hung up. That moment flipped a switch in me. I started paying attention to everything. Lauren's hospital stories stopped matching the way real shifts look. She would claim a 12-hour trauma shift, then walk in looking untouched. No antiseptic smell, no blood spatter, not even the kind of bone-deep exhaustion I have seen 100 times. It did not add up. Then a Tuesday in April, my truck broke down and I caught a ride home with one of my foremen. I walked in around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 hours earlier than usual, and heard laughter. Lauren was laughing in a way I had not heard in months. I turned the corner, and there she was, sitting way too close to Derek on our couch. Their bodies told the truth, intimate, comfortable. When they saw me, they jumped apart like guilty teenagers. Lauren went pale. "What are you doing home?" Derek fumbled, splashing his coffee. "I was just in the neighborhood. Thought she might need company," he said. Trying to hand me a cup like that made him helpful. I did not say a word, but my chest burned. All the pieces started sliding into place. Her strange hours, the secret calls, the pregnancy signs, Derek suddenly playing the concerned brother-in-law. My gut told me I already knew. The next morning, I dug in. Our company tracks every vehicle with a global positioning system. I pulled Derek's company truck records. For months, his logs showed him in our neighborhood during my work hours, and at upscale restaurants and hotels in Scottsdale that had nothing to do with any project. That was only the start. I opened our shared calendar. The overlap slapped me in the face. Every time Derek's truck pinged somewhere suspicious, Lauren's schedule changed. Extra shifts. Last-minute calls from the hospital. Emergencies that could not wait. I kept going. I pulled our joint bank statements for the last 4 months. The pattern was a billboard in daylight. Every Friday, $200 in cash. On top of that, charges at luxury restaurants and boutique hotels in Scottsdale. On days she swore she was pulling double shifts. $180 at a steakhouse on a Wednesday. $220 at a Four Seasons tea room on a Thursday she claimed was training. $95 for brunch at a hotel bistro on a Sunday. She said she covered a sick colleague. I started a log. Her stated plans versus what the data showed, day by day, line by line. To confirm what I already knew, I called her hospital. I posed as a relative with an urgent family matter and asked to be transferred to Lauren's department. The front desk nurse, polite as can be, told me Lauren was not on the schedule and had not been for 3 days. It was a Wednesday. Lauren had told me she had just finished a 12-hour Tuesday and was heading back in that evening. That was the moment the veil dropped. The next day, I told Lauren I was staying home with a stomach bug. She left for what she called a mandatory safety training. The second the door closed, I went to our shared family computer. We had always used the same password. Team Sedona 2019, a cheesy souvenir from our anniversary trip. My heart pounded. My hands shook. I signed into her email. Right at the top sat a thread between Lauren and my mother. Subject line, making sure Jake never finds out. I froze in the chair. Just seeing that subject line made my stomach roll, but I made myself click. There were months of messages. The early ones were from February and almost careful. My mother asked Lauren if she was absolutely sure about what was happening. She told her to be cautious. Maybe it was only a phase. Within a few weeks, the tone changed. They were game planning. My mother was not just aware. She was coaching. She wrote out excuses to feed me, which shifts to claim, what nights would sound like mandatory overtime, when to say she was stuck at the hospital. She even offered her own house as a safe spot if my father had late client dinners or a golf round. One email from March hit like a steel beam. Robert's tea time is Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He will not be back before 6. If you park behind the alley, Derek can use the side door through the garage. I will make sure no one in the neighborhood notices. Another message mapped out a Tuesday. Tell Jake you are on a night shift. Robert will be out with clients until 10 o'clock. The house will be empty. Derek already told his roommate he is on a job site overnight. Then they turned to the pregnancy. In April, Lauren had a confirmed appointment with her obstetrician-gynecologist, 8 weeks along, and there was uncertainty about the father. My mother's reply made my skin go cold. It does not matter. Let Jake believe the child is his. He will step up. Derek is not ready to raise a baby. Jake has the steady income, the house, the stability. He will do better as a father anyway. Another note followed, just as hard. Derek is not built for real responsibility. This arrangement helps everyone. You get financial security. Derek does not get tied down. Jake finally gets what he has always wanted, a family. Lauren pushed back once. What if Jake notices the baby looks like Derek? What if he figures it out? My mother answered like she was tightening a bolt. We will handle it later. Keep everything looking normal. Be intimate with him often enough to make the timeline believable. I sat there for hours, reading every word. My pulse would not settle. My wife, my brother, my own mother. They had been building a fake reality for me, plank by plank, lie by lie. I copied every thread, every attachment, every receipt. I saved it to a thumb drive and printed the worst of it. My hands shook, but my head went sharp. They thought I would never notice. They were wrong. I called my father. Dad, I need to meet at the office. Now. I cannot explain this over the phone. 20 minutes later, I was in his chair, laying it all out. Lauren's affair, the pregnancy, Derek's part in it, and the fact that my mother had not just known, but helped organize it. My father did not speak for a long time. He just sat there and took in the weight of it. When he finally talked, his voice was flat and steady. This is war, he said. Meet me at Mark's office in 2 hours. Do not say a word to anyone. We are securing this legally before we do anything else. Mark Quinn has been our corporate attorney for years. He is meticulous, and in divorce court he is known for taking prisoners only on paper. My father had already called ahead, and Mark cleared his schedule. In the conference room, we spread the evidence like we were laying out an exhibit list for trial. Email chains, global positioning system logs for company vehicles, bank statements, luxury restaurant charges, the mismatches in Lauren's supposed hospital shifts. After 20 minutes, Mark looked up and gave a single nod. The house is untouchable, he said. You bought it before the marriage. It is yours. With what you brought me, we can move fast and shield your assets before anything explodes. His instructions were simple and direct. Move joint funds immediately. Wall off retirement accounts. Record every interaction. No confrontations until the legal frame is in place. I drove straight to the bank. I transferred $95,000 out of our joint savings into my personal account and left $5,000 behind so it would not scream panic. I also pulled every record showing that the $140,000 I had invested before the wedding, stocks, a 401k retirement plan, all of it, was separate property. Lauren had no claim. Meanwhile, my father made his moves. He called the office and cut Derek off from everything. No company truck, no corporate card, no building badge. He told our office manager, Pam, to reassign his duties and lock down every system. By Monday morning, Derek's key card would not open a single door, and his truck would not even turn over. I closed every joint credit card except one with a $2,000 limit, in case Lauren tried to torch the finances out of spite. I removed her access to my personal accounts. Every step was calm, legal, and deliberate. That night, while Lauren was in the shower, her phone lit up on the sink. A message from Derek. Been waiting for a window like this. I cannot wait to see you tomorrow at Mom's. Dad is working late, so we will have the place to ourselves again. Do not forget to bring what you picked up yesterday. It was the confirmation I did not want and exactly what I needed. The affair had not slowed down. It had picked up speed. I locked up, staring at that subject line until my stomach turned. I made myself open it anyway. The thread went back months. The earliest notes were in February, and they tiptoed around the truth. My mother asked Lauren if she was absolutely sure about what was happening. She told her to be careful, said maybe it was only a phase. A few weeks later, the tone hardened. They were drawing up a plan. My mother was not just in the loop. She was giving instructions. She drafted ready-made excuses for Lauren to feed me, told her which shifts to claim, which nights sounded like mandatory overtime, and when to say she was stuck at the hospital. She even offered her own house as a safe place if my father had late client dinners or a golf tea time. One message from March hit me like a steel beam. Robert's tea time is on Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He will not be back before 6 o'clock. If you park behind the alley, Derek can come in through the garage side door. I will make sure the neighbors do not see anything. Another email laid out a Tuesday like a schedule. Tell Jake you are working a night shift. Robert will be with clients until 10 o'clock this evening. The house will be empty. Derek already told his roommate he is assigned to an overnight job site. Then they turned to the pregnancy. In April, Lauren had a confirmed visit with her obstetrician-gynecologist, 8 weeks along, with uncertainty about the father. My mother's response made my skin go cold. It does not matter. Let Jake believe the child is his. He will step up. Derek is not ready for a baby. Jake has the steady paycheck, the house, and the stability. He will be the better father anyway. Another note landed just as hard. Derek is not built for real responsibility. This setup helps everyone. You get financial security. Derek does not get tied down. Jake finally gets what he has always wanted, a family. Lauren pushed back once. She asked, what if Jake notices the baby looks like Derek? What if he figures it out? My mother answered like she was tightening a bolt. We will deal with that later. Keep everything looking normal. Be intimate with him often enough to make the timeline believable. I sat there for hours, reading line by line. My pulse would not settle. My wife, my brother, my own mother. They had been building a fake world around me, one careful lie at a time. I saved every thread, every attachment, every receipt. I copied all of it to a thumb drive and printed the worst pages. My hands shook, but my head went clear. They thought I would never connect the dots. They were wrong. I called my father. I said, Dad, I need to meet at the office. Right now? I cannot explain this over the phone. 20 minutes later, I was in his chair, laying out all of it. Lauren's affair, the pregnancy, Derek's role, and the fact that my mother had not only known, she had coordinated. My father sat silent for a long stretch, just absorbing the weight of it. When he finally spoke, his voice was level and cold. This is war, he said. Meet me at Mark's office in 2 hours. Do not speak to anyone. We are locking this down legally before anything else. Mark Quinn has been our corporate attorney for years. He is exacting, and in divorce court he is known for being ruthless within the lines. My father had already called him, and Mark cleared his calendar. In the conference room we laid everything out like exhibits. Email chains, global positioning system logs for company vehicles, bank statements, luxury restaurant charges, and the holes in Lauren's supposed hospital shifts. After 20 minutes, Mark looked up and gave a small nod. The house is safe, he said. You bought it before the marriage. It belongs to you. With this evidence, we can move quickly and shield your assets before anything goes public. His directions were straight. Move joint funds now. Wall off retirement accounts. Record every conversation. Do not confront anyone until the legal structure is in place. I drove to the bank and transferred $95,000 from our joint savings into my personal account, leaving $5,000 to avoid setting off alarms. I gathered proof that the $140,000 I invested before the wedding, individual stocks, and my 401k retirement plan was separate property. Lauren had no claim to it. At the same time, my father took action at the company. He pulled every access Derek had. No more company truck. No more corporate credit card. No building badge. He told Pam, our office manager, to reassign Derek's duties and lock down every system. By Monday morning, Derek's key card would not open a single door, and his truck would not even start. I closed every joint credit card except one with a $2,000 limit, in case Lauren tried to light the finances on fire. I removed her access to my personal accounts. Every move was calm, legal, and deliberate. That night, while Lauren was in the shower, her phone lit up on the counter. A new text from Derek. I have been waiting for a window like this. I cannot wait to see you tomorrow at Mom's. Dad is working late, so we will have the house to ourselves again. Do not forget to bring what you picked up yesterday. It was the confirmation I never wanted and exactly what I needed. The affair had not slowed down. It had shifted into a higher gear. You cannot be serious, Dad. Derek tried to grind out between his teeth. I am completely serious, my father said. You are finished here. Fired. Cut off. I am done being your safety net. My mother sucked in a breath. Robert, he is your child. No, my father said, looking straight at me. Jake is my son, and tonight proved that blood means nothing when you cut your own family. Lauren began sobbing, choking on the words. Jake, please. The baby could be yours. We will do a paternity test, I said, but it does not change a thing. You and I are over. I handed my father a check I had already written. This covers the loan you gave him, the one he was never going to repay. You deserve better. He stared at the check, then at Derek, who was bleeding on the floor, then at my mother, who was trying to haul him up by the arm. His voice turned to ice. Linda, get your coat. We are leaving. You and I are going to have a long conversation. When they walked out, the house fell into a silence that sounded louder than the shouting had been. Shattered plates speckled the floor. A dining chair lay in pieces. There was a ribbon of blood across the floorboards. The divorce papers still sat open on the table. Lauren was frozen in the chair, eyes red, makeup smeared. What now? She whispered. Now. I said flat. Now you pack and go. This house was mine before we ever met. You have until tomorrow to find somewhere else. She did not argue. She just nodded and went upstairs with a suitcase. I stayed where I was, in the middle of the wreckage of my life. For the first time in months, I felt clear and steady. Free. The divorce went fast because the evidence was a sledgehammer. Lauren tried to angle for spousal support, but Mark Quinn shut it down hard. With her full-time nursing income and the stack of documentation I had, there was no case. Arizona may be a no-fault state, but what happens still matters when people divide property and talk about support. In the end, she left with her clothes, her compact sedan, and nothing else. The lab results from the paternity test confirmed what I already knew. The child was not mine. Lauren moved in with Sophie, the travel nurse who had covered all those magical shifts. Mutual friends said the shine wore off fast. Lauren cried all the time, demanded sympathy, and expected Sophie to carry the bills. Within 6 weeks, Sophie told her to leave. My father did exactly what he said he would do. Derek was terminated from the company. He was banned from every job site and quietly blacklisted across the Phoenix construction world. My father made a few calls. Word spread. Derek could not get hired in the only trade he halfway understood. The money pipeline dried up. No more payments on the German sedan. No corporate card. No cash handouts. For the first time in his life, Derek was on his own, and it hit him like a brick. 3 weeks later, the police arrested him for driving on a suspended license with expired tags and no insurance. He had dodged car payments and could not afford coverage. He spent 2 nights in county jail. My father refused to post bail. Let him sit, he told me. Maybe jail will teach him what life never did. Lauren tried to worm her way back into my life more than once. Emails, texts, even showing up at a job site one afternoon and demanding a conversation. She said we could fix it. She said we could rebuild. I blocked her after she sent a message blaming me for the affair. She claimed I worked too much and did not meet her emotional needs. Classic cheater's script. flip the blame, and pose as the victim. What truly satisfied me was watching how my father handled my mother. He did not just rage. He went surgical. He had already suspected something. Odd purchases. Strange patterns. After he learned everything, he asked Mark Quinn to order a full financial audit going back 2 years. The findings were brutal. My mother had been funneling roughly $3,000 a month to Derek. Hidden credit lines, cash advances, even a second mortgage she had taken out without telling my father. She had been draining their finances to keep Derek's lifestyle afloat while playing the perfect hostess in public. 6 weeks after that dinner, my father filed for divorce. He was 58. He was done with the lies and the manipulation. My mother screamed and pleaded, but he did not move. This time the divorce was not quiet. It was a fight. My father kept the business, the primary home, and most of the shared assets. My mother was left scrambling. She had not worked in more than a decade. With no savings and no safety net, she took a retail job, Target of all places, making $12 an hour. The same woman who used to bark at cashiers now bagged groceries for people half her age. Derek moved into a crumbling 2-bedroom apartment with her. He tried multiple times to crawl back. He begged my father for forgiveness, said he had learned his lesson. My father's answer never changed. You chose your path the day you stabbed your brother in the back. Now walk it. Last I heard, Derek was on the graveyard shift at a big box home improvement store, unloading trucks and stocking shelves, barely staying afloat. Lauren had the baby, a daughter. She lives in a small 1-bedroom, working extra shifts to cover daycare. Life has been rough for her. I will not pretend I feel bad. Then, a few months ago, there was a knock at my door. My mother and Derek. Uninvited. The request they made almost made me laugh out loud. They wanted me to do the right thing. They wanted me to claim Lauren's child as my own, put my name on the birth certificate, pay child support, and even help with Derek's legal bills so he could get back on track. Their pitch was simple and shameless. We are still family. Everybody makes mistakes. The child should not suffer. And I am the only one who can provide stability. The nerve of it still amazes me. Jake, my mother said, be the bigger person. That little girl needs a father figure. You are the only one who can give her a good life. I looked her in the eye. Get off my property. Do not come back. I made it clear I would not pay for anyone else's choices, least of all the people who tried to burn down my life. They had already ruined enough. They were not getting a second chance to ruin what comes next. I had the police remove them. The officer who showed up listened, looked over my records, and said he had seen plenty of family disasters like this. He told me I was smart to keep detailed documentation and smarter to walk away for good. It has been 8 months since the night everything shifted. I will not dress it up. The first few months were rough. I was 31 and felt like I was rebuilding from the slab up. Everything I thought I knew about loyalty, family, and trust was broken. But once I let go of the people poisoning my life, I could breathe. Space opened up for better things. My relationship with my father has never been stronger. When the dust settled, he brought me in as a full partner and signed over a 40% share of the company. We are drawing plans to expand commercial real estate development in Tucson first, and maybe Las Vegas after that. The company is humming now. With Derek gone, the client complaints stopped. Bigger contracts started showing up. 6 months after the divorce was final, I started dating again. I met Sarah at a development conference in Las Vegas. She is an architect who focuses on medical facilities and large commercial builds. She is driven, financially independent, and does not expect anyone to rescue her. She is everything Lauren was not: grounded, goal-oriented, self-sufficient. Being with her feels like fresh air after years of breathing smoke. I still hear updates about Derek and Lauren through work circles. Construction and healthcare are small worlds when you have a story like ours. Derek has burned through 4 jobs in 8 months. He still carries that entitled chip, acts like he is above real work, and cannot figure out why nobody keeps him. Lauren went on social media to ask for help with baby expenses. It backfired. People who know the truth spoke up. They listed the lies. They described her choices. They called out how she tried to pose as the victim after wrecking her own house. My mother has taken a few week runs at my father through mutual friends. She says she wants to rebuild for the sake of the family and asks when he will stop punishing her. He gives the same answer every time. You chose when you helped destroy Jake's marriage. Now live with what you chose. If there is one lesson I am taking from all of this, it is one I wish I had learned sooner. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Do not wait for more proof. Do not hand out endless benefit of the doubt. Family is not just shared deoxyribonucleic acid. Family is having each other's backs. It is loyalty when it is hard. It is respect and doing the right thing when nobody is watching. My mother and Derek failed that test in every way. My father and I did not. And the best justice has not been a big showdown. It has been watching consequences land. Derek learning what minimum wage feels like. Lauren drowning in her own mess with nobody left to play. My mother punching a time clock and answering to the same kind of people she used to sneer at. That is plenty of justice for me.